Okay guys, so in order for me to clean all that mess up, I had to take about all of the plating off of the squish bands. So cutting a square surface, so why it's kind of like tick, 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 tick. And my jerky hands on this knob as well. Probably 20 thousandths or so. There you have it. Simple. Okay guys, so I've got the saw up on TDC, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to try to get in here and make some marks, just to kind of see how wide this thing is. This ain't 100% scientific on it, but should give us an idea of where we're at. It doesn't look like we have any issues with Freeport or anything, but just for laughs, let's just make a mark, see how close things are. Mainly what I'm wanting to do is see how wide this port is. It looks pretty wide already anyway. Okay guys, so maybe you can see our marks, you can see what's going on there. We've got a port that's pretty good ways off center. You'll see that a lot in aftermarket stuff. It's measuring around 22 millimeters. That's also pretty common for the exhaust port on one of these in stock form, regardless of what cylinder it is. Rule of thumb on a work saw, you can generally go to like 65% safely, which is roughly 29 millimeters on this. However, we have a windowed piston. It's only like 27 millimeters and some change wide, so I'm thinking the only thing I'm going to do is bring this side of the port over a couple, maybe a millimeter or so, which is about 30 thou, just so the port's good and even, and that should help things out. Okay, so we're going to start with widening this side of the port. I think I'll just leave this side alone. It was out there pretty close to the edge of the piston skirt anyway. So that's what we're going to do, is come in. There's not a lot of room in there. We'll just use the tip of that cutter. Just work slow. Not looking to remove a lot, just mainly to pull it around where it's halfway even with the other side. Okay, now we're going to go in with the roll and clean that back up before we go back and recheck. I don't want to burr something to scuff up my new piston. Alright. You gotta love these GoPros. You can get way up close to it and they'll focus right in. But there's where we're at. It's looking, even not completely even across, but looking a lot better than it was. Okay guys, so you have options here of what you want to do if you want to reshape the exit of the port. This port has a pretty good shape. The exit's way larger than the entrance, and you know, you kind of always want that. You kind of want that tapered effect coming out. I'm not going to go crazy with this. I've done that, ain't really seen much of a gain, if any. There'll be people argue that. That's fine. People are welcome to their own opinions, but get a coarse cartridge roll here, a fresh one. I am getting low on those, and we're just gonna go in and blend. There's like some plating overhang all around this thing, so we're just gonna go around and blend and clean things up. You can hear how aggressive that roll is. That is removing material. It's making the port larger. There's where we're at after that. We're gonna get the light under it. Have a look on the inside. Pretty good looking port. I will change mandrels and maybe see if we can lay us a polish on that. There you have it, guys, one finished exhaust port. Okay guys, so the intake port, I'm not going to do a whole lot here. This one actually is a pretty good sized intake port. I like the way it looks inside. There is some nickel seal plating overhang in the floor. We'll blend that in, blend the sides in. Not going to get crazy with anything. I'll probably pull what timing I want off of the skirt of the piston and turn that'll lighten the piston as well, and that's always a good thing. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go in, just mainly do a little blend work in here. There is like a lip around the outer edge of it, but as soon as I start working with one of these cartridge rolls, that'll be all but gone. don't really do like a lung or a tonsil, some people might call it, and I've shown that in a video a week or so ago. That's on a lot of older Stihl cylinders. It's mainly for support for the rings. There have been some guys say that it does aid in power. I don't know. I ain't never done a before and after on it, but I do like to come in here, and that's kind of how I work my sides. So you probably don't want to do that with like a big coarse cutter. Giving out all my secrets in one video. I don't have any secrets. Nobody's reinventing the wheel on this stuff, guys. You can remove a lot of material with those cutters. Okay, so here's where we're at. It's got like a cow's tongue, cat's tongue finish. If you grew up on a farm, maybe you've felt a cow's tongue or your house cat come up and lick you or something. It's just that like sandpapery finish, and again, it ain't completely like a lung or anything. Let's see if I can get light down here on it. Maybe we can get a look that way. There you go. You can kind of see the shape that's on it, and we did widen that. Like I said, those cartridge rolls, I've tried to show a lot of people that. I know some people have picked up and purchased them, went to using them. Had a lot of you guys email me and tell me, you know, you'd used them, had good luck, like them. You know, only trying to help. It's just stuff that I brought over from the automotive side of things, where you get this exact kit, and it does come with 2 mandrels, but you're gonna need a hand piece to use 1/4 inch stuff. You can buy an 1/8 inch, you can buy your little small, what is it, an 8 inch mandrel to fit one of these hand pieces. That's what a lot of people have, I think, or a Dremel. You just have to get on eBay and search for that. But I guess the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with these uppers. I'm seriously thinking of running like 30 degrees of blowdown on this thing. So what I'm going to do is get the cylinder blown out, cleaned up, get it on the saw, and see exactly where the exhaust port's at now after all of that. And that's what we're going to look into. Not sure how well you'll be able to see, but maybe get enough light. But I've got lines drew. Sometimes I'll do that. Depends on how light the cylinder is. Some cylinders you get are kind of dark. I put a larger cutter on there. Hopefully it fits in the transfer port. But that's what we're going to do. I'm going to try to keep these as flat as I can. I'm kind of going for flat surface. Then what we'll do, my line's all but, I've got to work this side down a little more, is all but about gone, and that's actually going to set my uppers at one. Okay, so I don't know how well that's going to pick up. We'll use the other camera to do a final look at the port work, but The uppers are actually looking pretty good. Ain't gonna have to do much with the right angle. Maybe get in and work the back corners a little bit, but not looking too shabby at all. I generally try to stick with diamond abrasives most of the time, which is what that is. Again, you can get all of these in a set at most tool stores. Probably even buy them online somewhere. I have no idea, but mainly just gonna go in and blend things on in a little bit. We've hit our lines. Then what I like to do at the end is take the tip of a cartridge roll and just kind of bump around that, and then I'll work the ports over with some sandpaper, and this one will about be ready to bolt on the saw. So I've got an old roll here. Want to go in, just kind of break that edge. Let's tilt this up a little. There we go. Then I'll go over these with sandpaper as well. Then all we have left is to do what we're going to do to the piston. You don't want to do all of this work and then tangerine. It's not a good time. Okay guys, I hope you can see those marks, but it does not take a lot. We've got it about right, really close to being even there. Where you measure that, we probably picked up maybe a millimeter or something, but I think it's looking a lot better than it was. Okay, at the moment the port width is just a little over 24 millimeters. Okay, guys, so look at the port work and get a good close-up view of it. Intake port. Like I'd shown on the GoPro, nothing special there. Inside, didn't touch the lowers, no need to. Raise the uppers. Tried to stick with kind of the shape that was there, maybe even flatten them out a little bit. They're still on an angle, but not anything real drastic. And the exhaust port, a pretty nice finish on that, not half bad at all. Look at it from the inside, not too shabby at all. Although it seemed to turn out pretty good. The timing advance, there's stock, there's advance. I've got my finder on the back, but we're probably looking at alright guys, she is together. Back plastic's a little more faded than the front, but I'd actually ordered that a while back, probably 2 years ago or so, but it didn't even come with the knob. I had to rob it out of an 026 cover. I actually had to grind some of the fin off the top of the 260 cylinder. There was like one big tall fin that stuck up for some odd reason. To clear that, to aid in supporting maybe that taller plastic, I don't know, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's two sets of plastic for these. Your 024 Super, your 026 has plastic that's just a little bit taller. I actually have the 26 cover here, the rear cover. See the difference? It's not much, but probably an inch. Enough to matter though. 24 uses a shorter air filter. Honestly, the saws would probably perform better with the larger filter and cover, and would probably cool better with the taller plastic, but I was going to keep it stock appearing as an 024 as I could. And I went ahead and checked compression on it. Without starting or anything, got 185 psi. I quit pulling at 15 pulls. Like that's pretty damn good for what we're dealing with here. So that was about what I was expecting with where the port timing was at, and the squish and the dome piston. Once we get a good ring seat, and I did only put one ring in it. I left the bottom ring out because it did have the big thick rings, but I may have went over that already. Muffler mod, just typical. I usually just open up the big deflector that's there, and usually that's enough on these things, and I've shown the timing advance. So hopefully the next thing you guys see is, I hope it just starts right up, because it's like in the 90s, which means in that other shop it's probably 100 degrees. So hopefully the next thing we see is this thing busted off and running. And we added this to the fleet over last weekend. It's 400 2-cycle, 40 horsepower stock. We plan on modifying this thing as much as we can, so don't know if I'll show it on the channel or not. They just, some things YouTube will push out and others they won't. It's a Polaris Trailblazer, if you can't make that out. Made this in a 400, 1 year and 1 year only.